Welcome back to Daily English Talk, your favorite YouTube channel for mastering casual English conversation. Today, we've got a fun and practical topic that will definitely come in handy on your next night out. We're talking about ordering drinks at a bar. And joining me is our resident language expert and all-around great conversationalist, Chloe.
Hi, Liam. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to dive into this topic. It's something everyone needs to know, whether you're a beginner or looking to refine your fluency.
Absolutely. So, Chloe, when you walk into a bar, what's the first thing you usually do?
Well, the first thing is usually to find a spot, right? You might look for an empty seat at the bar, or maybe a table. Once you've settled in, you'll want to get the bartender's attention.
And how do you do that casually? I always feel a bit awkward.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky. You don't want to be too pushy. A good way is to make eye contact. If you can, catch the bartender's eye and give a small nod or a smile. If they're busy, you might have to wait a moment. You can also try a polite "excuse me" or "hi" when they're not actively serving someone else.
So, eye contact and a polite, "Excuse me." Got it. What if you're at a table and there's a server?
It's pretty similar. You'd still try to make eye contact. If they're walking by, you can raise your hand slightly, not a big wave, just a subtle signal. And then, again, a polite "excuse me" or "when you have a moment, please."
Okay, so you've got their attention. Now for the main event, ordering. What are some common ways to start?
The most straightforward way is to say, "I'll have," or "I'd like." For example, "I'll have a pint of lager, please." Or, "I'd like a glass of red wine."
Are there more casual ways to say that?
Definitely. You can be a bit more direct. "Can I get" is very common. "Can I get a gin and tonic?" Or, "Can I get a soda water?" Another one is, "I'll take," like, "I'll take a whiskey neat."
Whiskey neat. That's a good one. What about if you're not sure what you want, or you want to ask for a recommendation?
That's a great question, and it happens all the time. You can ask, "What do you recommend?" Or, "What's good tonight?" If you have a general idea, you can be more specific. For example, if you like fruity cocktails, you could ask, "What kind of fruity cocktails do you have?" Or, if you're thinking about beer, "Do you have any local craft beers on tap?"
On tap is a useful phrase for beer, isn't it?
It is. It means beer that's served from a keg, usually through a tap. So, asking about what's on tap is a good way to inquire about their beer selection.
What if you want something specific, but you're not sure if they have it?
You can ask, "Do you have," for instance, "Do you have any IPA?" IPA stands for India Pale Ale, a popular type of beer. Or, "Do you have any non-alcoholic options?"
That's important. So, let's say I want a beer. What are some common beer orders?
You might order a pint. That's a standard size of beer in many countries, especially the UK and Ireland. So, "A pint of Guinness, please." Or, if you're in the US, you might order a draft beer, which is the same as on tap. You could also ask for a bottle of beer or a can of beer.
And if you're not a beer drinker,
You could order wine, a glass of white wine, or a bottle of red wine. You might specify the type, like a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Or, if you're not sure, "What kind of white wine do you have by the glass?"
what about spirits and mixers? That's a whole other world.
It is. The most common way to order a spirit with a mixer is to say the spirit, then the mixer. So, gin and tonic, vodka soda, rum and coke. If you want to be more specific about the amount of spirit, you can say a double gin and tonic, which means more gin.
What if you want the mixer on the side?
You can say, "Can I have my vodka soda with the soda on the side?" That way, you can control how much mixer you add.
And cocktails? Those can be complicated.
They can be. If you know the name of the cocktail, just say it. "A mojito, please." Or, "Can I get a margarita?" If you're feeling adventurous, You could ask the bartender to surprise you. Surprise me with a cocktail.
That sounds fun, but also a little risky. What about non-alcoholic drinks?
Very important. You can ask for a soda, which usually means a carbonated soft drink like Coke or Sprite. Or you can be specific, a Coke, please. A Diet Coke. A Sprite. You can also order juice, orange juice, apple juice, and of course, water.
Is it just water? Or are there different types?
You can ask for still water if you don't want fizzy water, or sparkling water, or fizzy water if you do. Sometimes people just say tap water, which is usually free.
So if I want a simple soft drink, I can just say, can I get a Coke?
Exactly. Or, I'll have a lemonade, or a ginger ale, please.
What if you want something a bit more unique, like a mocktail?
You can ask, do you have any mocktails? Or, what non alcoholic cocktails do you offer? Some bars are very good at making creative non alcoholic drinks these days.
Let's talk about payment. How do people usually pay?
It depends on the bar. In many places, you pay the bartender or server directly. You can say, can I pay now? Or can I get the bill, please? If you're at the bar, you might just pay as you order.
So, if you're ordering multiple drinks, do you pay for each one or at the end?
Usually, you can either pay for each drink as you get it, or you can run a tab. To run a tab, you'd give the bartender your credit card, and they'll keep it until you're ready to pay for everything at once. You might say, can I run a tab?
And if you're splitting the bill?
You can say, can we split the bill? Or, we'd like to pay separately. The bartender or server will then figure out how to divide the cost.
That's really helpful. Now, what about tipping? Is it expected?
Tipping culture varies a lot by country. In the US, tipping is very common and expected, usually 15 to 20% of the bill. In other countries, like the UK, service charges are sometimes included, or tipping is less common. It's always good to observe or ask if you're unsure.
Okay, so let's recap. We've learned how to get the bartender's attention, make polite requests, order specific drinks, ask for recommendations, and even handle payment and tipping.
It's all about being clear, polite, and confident. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you're not sure about something on the menu. Most bartenders are happy to help you find what you like.
So, for example, if I'm a bit nervous, I could just stick to the basics. Excuse me, can I get a pint of lager?
Exactly. That's perfectly fine. And if you want to try something new, you can always ask, what's your most popular beer? Or, what's a good local beer?
Chloe, this has been incredibly useful. I feel much more prepared to order a drink now.
Me too, Liam. It's all about practice. So next time you're out, try out some of these phrases.
And that's all the time we have for today on Daily English Talk. A huge thank you to Chloe for sharing her expertise.
Thanks for having me.